Hey you guys, my name is Chelsea. I'm gonna try to do this video again for like the 15th time before my baby wakes up again. Every time I keep trying to do it, she, you know, gets to doing what she does. So, once again, my name is Chelsea. I wanted to get on here and share with you guys um, a testimony basically, and this is for females. Men, you could take heed of it if it applies to you, but it's really to help females out, young mothers, and just to move out on faith and, you know, don't be afraid to do better, basically. So, I'm going to give you guys a story with concerning the pregnancy that with my last child, Serenity. So, I was going through so much when I was pregnant with her, from getting kicked out, um, her father breaking up with me, having to drop out of medical school. I was going through so much. So when all of that was occurring, I didn't know what else to do but, get high. That's how I coped with it. That's how I dealt with it. That's how I felt like, okay, I won't feel none of this pain, especially when my child's father, basically just like I felt like he walked away from me. So I was getting high. When I say not just like once a day, like I'm not gonna lie, it was back to back, you know, numerous times throughout the day. But it it killed my feelings until I got sober again, until I sparked up the next blunt. So I was doing all of that, trying to deal with my feelings, deal with everything that I was going through. Until one day I had talked to my spiritual mother. I had sent her a text about what I was going through and how I was ready to give up, you know, just throw the towel in. I was ready to kill myself, like not care about my child that I was pregnant with, did not care at all. So she gave me a reality check. When I say a reality check, for those that know her, y'all already know how she get down. Didn't sugarcoat nothing. And that I thank God for her, because that day she saved my life and she saved my daughter's life, because God knows what I was gonna do. So after I talked to her later on that day, I had to call the crisis number and told them, who I was. I'm pregnant and I'm going through depression, suicidal thoughts. I'm ready to kill myself. They're asking me questions like, is there any sharp items around you? Are there any in the house? I'm like, yeah. They're asking me, how would you have done it? They needed me to describe everything. So they told me to go to the nearest hospital. So I went to the hospital. They did my little, I don't want to say screening, but, evaluation. So they decided to keep me. So by them deciding to keep me, they had the hospital that I was at was full. So they had to switch me. They had to, transport me to a different hospital, which was an hour away from where I was, which was in Ottawa, Illinois. So I get there and, it's late at night. They do my intake or whatever, and then I go to sleep. So the next day I wake up, I'm attending the groups, doing what I got to do to to get through my healing, my process of what I'm going through. So I'm doing all of that, you guys. Um, I'm speaking out in groups and stuff like that. Um, I've made some friends while I was in there, actually. It does. Some people like, oh, you made friends with some crazy people. I wouldn't give them a title as a crazy person, because you never know what somebody is going through. Half, half of the time, people that I met in there, they just needed somebody to talk to. So as I'm in there, I'm talking to the, social workers, everybody, expressing myself, letting them know how I actually feel. And I remember it was a day that my parents came up there to visit me, and I asked them, remind you guys, I'm homeless at this point. I done got kicked out and everything. So I'm homeless at this point. I put my pride to the side, asked my parents, hey, is there a way that I can come back? I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I'm going to get me another job. If I got to get another multiple jobs, I will do that. I need a place to lay my head. Not even just lay my head, I need somewhere to go because I am pregnant. So I thank God that my oldest two, they're with their dad, so they did not have to experience what I was going through. So I wasn't getting a clear or a direct answer from them. So I'm like, okay, they're not answering me. So I did ask again on the phone. So once again, wasn't getting no direct answer. So I'm like, okay, God, why aren't they saying yes or why aren't they saying no? What is really going on? So at this point, I had looked into shelters because I'm like, okay, I need somewhere to go because when I get discharged from this hospital, I'm not going to have nowhere to go, basically. So, and I refused to go back to the house that I was at where I was participating in, you know, getting high all the time. So, I called one shelter that was nearby where I stay. They were full. I'm like, are you serious, God? Why are they full? Then one day, the next day, a new girl came onto the, the floor, and she was telling me where she was from, and she was staying in a shelter. And so I'm like, oh, you're staying in a shelter. If you don't mind me asking you, where is it? So she told me it's called the Dream Center, and it's in Peoria. I said, what? Peoria? I'm like, no, God, I ain't finna go all the way to Peoria. But at the same time, I didn't have the option to be picky of where I'm gonna go because, like I said, the moment they would have freed me out of there, I wouldn't. Where was I gonna go? Where did I have the time to be picky and choose where do I think that I can go when I don't have nowhere to go? So I called the place, called the Dream Center, asked them did they have any beds available, told them who I was, asked them do they accept pregnant people and everything. They said yes, took my name down. I told them what day I was getting discharged from the hospital and what time they should expect me, and everything was smooth. So I get discharged. The hospital actually took me to Peoria. Um, when I got there, I did my little intake or whatever. I prayed the whole time. When I was on my way there, I said, God, you be with me. I will follow your steps. All of you, none of me, all that good stuff. Have him direct my path throughout there because remind you, I don't know nobody in Peoria. When I say don't got a lick of family members in Peoria, don't know one person in Peoria. So I'm out there all alone, pregnant, all alone, all by myself. I'm 3 months pregnant out there. So I get out there. It hasn't even been like 10 hours since I've been in Peoria. And when I was there, I guess they did a shift change. And so it was a new staff lady that must have came in. And now I remind you guys, I didn't have no clothes. The only thing I had on was what I came to the hospital in, which was one set of clothes. So I had asked the staffings did they have any clothes or anything, because it is a shelter. Do you guys have anything? And nobody had anything until I met this one lady in there that was working there. It was a security guard. She told me she had clothes in her car, and if I wanted them, I can have them. Thank God we were the same size, and I took them. I couldn't be picky, and they were clean. You know what I'm saying? I had clean undergarments, all type of stuff, soaps, everything, to keep me going until I can go to the laundromat and wash or whatever. So that happened. Then went to sleep. The next day I woke up first thing in the morning, got ready, ate, and instantly hit the streets trying to find a job because I can't be out here and not have a job, and I got a baby on the way. So I'm out here looking for a job. You guys, when I tell you I have not even been in Peoria for a week and I found a job, when I say a job, oh my God, I thank God that I was able to. Now, at that moment, I'm like, okay, I got this job. I'm about to save money so I can get me a place because I refuse to bring my daughter to a shelter. So I'm doing what I got to do if I gotta wake up extra early in the morning just so I can go to work, I'm asking if I can get extra days. And I remind you, the job that I got, when I first went to that man and asked him, was he hiring? He told me not at the moment, and, you know, try back, a different time, because they were in transitioning of, like, finding a different building. So every day, you guys, I never gave up. I kept walking by. I'm like, hey, it's me again. Are you hiring? And because he loved my consistency, he gave me the job. And I thank God that he gave me the job. And, it wasn't, it wasn't paying, as much as, a lot of people would be like, oh, yeah, that's some decent money. But it was something. It was a start, because I needed money in my pockets so I could be able to eat. And to be honest, that job that I had, I believe that God gave me that job so I can be able to get little things that I need, and most definitely, most of all, be able to eat. Mind you, I'm pregnant. I got to stay eating. So I'm working there. Um, Everything is nice. It's smooth. I look for a church home as well, because I'm like, okay, God, I'm talking to you in my alone time when I'm at work, on my way to work, on my way back from work, but I need to get into a church. So I'm looking online on the first Saturday, the first week I'm there, that Saturday. I'm looking online like, okay, I need to find a church that I need to go to. What's the nearby church that I can go to? So I look outside my window and I seen a sign that was above a church. And I'm like, okay, what's the name of that church? So I typed it in, and it showed that it was called Riverside. When I tell you guys, it had to been God that led me to that church. So I woke up the next day, got ready, did what I had to do. I don't care how early it was, because I was going to make my way into church so I can, one, give God praise for what he has done for me, and two, I just needed to be in the presence of God. So I got to Riverside. It was nothing but love. When I say people greeted me with love in there, I was just like so overwhelmed in a good way. Like, oh my God, I've never met so much nice people, especially when you tell them not where you're from, like literally where you're from, but when they ask you, oh, do you stay nearby? I wasn't ashamed to tell them, yes, I currently stay at the shelter, which was literally right across the street from the church. Well, down the street from the church. So they did not judge me at all. They still loved me, did the good godly thing. So it was this one lady that asked me and another lady that I brought from the shelter to the church with me, did we want to sit with her? And her name is Rebecca. Let me give her shout out. So she asked us, did we want to sit with her? And I guess we said yeah. So we came in there, I'm thinking, she's going to connect with the lady that I brought with me to church. But the whole time after the service was over, I seen her and she saw me, and we made that, I don't want to say it, connection in a way, and exchange numbers and stuff like that. And you guys, when I tell you, she has been there for me ever since I met her. Like, when I tell you, God knows when to send people at the right timing. When I say she has been there checking on me, texting me, hey, how are you doing? How's the baby? Doing a good thing, showing that she cared. So, the next day, I go to work, I'm still looking for a place to stay, because I'm so stern on the fact that I will not be in this shelter for so long. I gave myself a month to be about that shelter. I have crazy faith. And I even told the staff that. I told them, this is just a place for me to lay my head. I don't see this as a temporary place. I give myself a month to get out of here. So I'm going to work, doing what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? And I was actually staying at the shelter for like 3 weeks or whatever. And then I actually transferred to a different shelter by third week. So staying in a shelter, I really was in a shelter for a total of 3 weeks. I left to go to the new shelter on the third week though. And the lady who I mentioned, Rebecca, she's the one that took me there due to, stuff that was, wasn't sitting right with me there. So we went, she took me there, prayed for me, told me, she's behind me, she had my back or whatever. So I think probably 3 days with me in there, her and her husband, they're such sweet people. They ended up opening their doors to me, you guys. When I say they opened up their doors, I was shocked. I didn't know to cry. I didn't know to say yes or no. But I'm like, oh my God, these people really open their doors. I'm like, okay, God, should I go? Should I not go? Because mind you, guys, I don't know these people. I don't know nobody out here. But I went along with it. They came and got me from that shelter that same day that they opened up their doors to me. And I went back home with them. It was so peaceful. When I say they have helped me get things that I needed for my daughter, the church has helped me. The when I say I'm still in shock to this day because God is so good. He knows when to place people in your life when you need them. Not when you want it, but when you need it and when the time is right. So they've purchased things for my daughter. I've got the church has helped me. They helped me. They even helped me get a job. It took me like a week for me to get a job, which was right up the street where we lived or whatever. You know, took me to doctor's appointments, stood by my side. Everything worked out for my good because I kept my faith, because I didn't give up and say, you know what, this is too much. No, I don't want to do this, because I could easily went back to the old me, to my, what I'm used to the norm or whatever. But no, I said, you know what, God, I trust you. I give everything to you. I completely surrendered, because at this time, it's not about me. It's about this child that I decided to bring into this world that did not ask to be here. So I couldn't be selfish. I had to think about my baby at that moment. The father's not present. The father's not doing anything that he's supposed to do. So I completely cut him off due to me to keep a peaceful mindset. And if you're not trying to support me in the route that I need to go, I don't need that in my life at all. My daughter has been blessed tremendously. When I say I barely had to purchase anything for my daughter, because people has blessed me with items for her, clothing. It's I'm so shocked just sitting here still talking and thinking about it. That's why I keep stuttering. But I'm just so blessed that, one, my daughter is here. She's healthy. She doesn't have nothing wrong with her. Because remember, I told you guys, I smoked when I was pregnant with her. And I'm blessed that she doesn't have no effect from it. I prayed over her all the time. I've had moments where I had to go to the hospital because I was high risk stuff. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But God has kept me. He has kept my daughter the whole time in my pregnancy. She was my peace. That's why I named her Serenity. If you know what the name Serenity means, peace. And she has been my peace. When I say God gave me her at the right time, I was going through so much. Man, you guys, I thank God for everything that he's done. Yes, some people may look at it like, girl, you on your third child, you are unstable. You're right. I can admit, yes, I was on my third child. Yes, I was unstable. But at the same time, God knows what to do and what to place in your life when you need it. And he knows how it will affect you at that time as well. So through all of that, with what I just said, I just believe that you have to be faithful to God. You can pray. Yes, you can get all types of prophetic words. Yes, people can tell you, oh yeah, I can see so much good in you. The Lord said this is going to happen. Okay, but when are you going to do your part so you can see everything manifest? When I tell you I did not care about nobody when I was in Peoria, I stayed to myself. I worked. I talked to my spiritual parents. I talked to Rebecca and Damien, the people I lived with. And that's about it, because at that time I didn't have time to hear what other people have to say. I didn't care what other people had to say, because I'm trying to get to a certain place in my life. I'm trying to break a curse that's in on my bloodline. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my other two children back. That's another story, but I'm not going to get into that. But I have to do what I have to do so my daughter has a stable, you know what I'm saying, a stable place. I can't let her go through what her siblings went through or what I went through. That's selfish. But like I said, you don't, ladies, don't ever think you need a man to be able to complete you, to you know, build a family or whatever the case you want to call it. Because, you know, we be so quick to say, oh, I need him in my life so my family can be together. First of all, if God didn't ordain it, you might as well walk away. Second of all, if he doesn't want to be involved, let him go. Let him go. Let's be real. Let him go. You will not need him. When I say, if you put your faith in God completely, 100%, and don't care what other people say, and do your part at that, watch the blessings manifest right in front of you, right in front of your enemies at that. You know what I'm saying? You know, ladies, we might have, you know, depression, suicidal thoughts, you know, feel insecure. Trust me, I didn't had all of it and then some. But it was nothing but God that kept me. It was nothing but God that said, Chelsea, I got you. I got you. Even all the times that I fell down on my own, wanting to go back to the old ways, God has still completely kept his hands on me. It's been times, you guys, when I tell you that death has knocked on my door and I should have been gone, but I'm still here. You can't tell me God isn't good. When I say he is good, you cannot tell me he's not good. When I say I am a living miracle, I am a walking miracle, I am proof that God does miracles. Because who do you know that gets up and goes somewhere totally they don't know and don't know nobody, and God blesses them just like that? Who you know gets stuff like that? You can't tell me God isn't real. So I just hope this encouraged anybody, you know, helps somebody. You know, don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid to cut people off. That's be our problems. We be so afraid of letting toxic relationships go because we're scared of what another person may say. I've been there. I used to be like, oh no, I don't know what somebody might think of me. I think too much. That was my problem. Chelsea thinks too much. But I decided I'm in a season, I don't care what anybody has to say. Family, mama, daddy, brother, sister, I don't care, because I have to think about myself, my sanity, and my children. I have to make a life for my children. I want them to live better than I did. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm going through the things that I'm going through is because I put it upon myself. I didn't have to go down the route that I went. I decided to do that. I'm not saying that, ladies, you know, everything is, you know, a lady's part, a lady's problem or our fault or whatever. But if you can do your part to do something good, to walk away, to keep yourself, you know, in a happy mood, do it. Please do it. When I say your peace is worth it, you trust me, it is worth it. I pray that this helps somebody. This was just a little snippet of, you know, what I went through. But I'll be back on here for more things, you know what I'm saying? But I really hope that this helps somebody. Alrighty. Talk to you guys later.